Women leave all the time. They untie the knot 70, 80% of the time because they're not happy. So why are you sticking around in a miserable marriage because of obligation or, because you just think that you should for whatever reason? Um, you know, what do you want out of life? You're going to be dead and 6 foot under at some point. Everybody will be. There's nobody on their deathbed that's like, gee, I wish I tried harder, bro, for my wife, sort of thing. It's like, that just doesn't work.
We've heard it time and time again. Men don't understand women. But spoiler alert, women don't understand men either. See, we have this tendency to make false assumptions of matters we know very little about. A man will never fully understand a woman because he isn't one to begin with. Just as a woman would never truly get men entirely. We're very similar, yet still so strikingly different that talks of this will never truly end. So to me, I find it unsurprising that these differences have all the means to tear a marriage into shreds if the right course of action doesn't come. And as the man, you play a very crucial role in ensuring that this course of action becomes effective.
Now I'm trying to scream from the rooftops, sleep with your husbands, give them lots of sex, because it was the first time I actually walked in your guys' shoes. So I understand that women can't understand it because we don't have the drive, and therefore I'm like, you guys can't understand.
So she's a scholar now. Now she understands what men think and what men go through. Now the tables flip. Remember that story about the lady who dressed as a man, started looking like a man, and all of a sudden she knew all about men. And then she wound up going crazy and ended up ending herself. I wonder what went through her mind when she finally started to understand men. She probably felt bad too. She literally went insane. She realized that, you know what? You don't actually get the same options as you did at first. It became clear that women aren't on your side and as nice as you thought they were. Because you're a dude, they don't care. Women are nice to other women because they're women. And the job of a woman is to understand another woman and to be on her side, regardless if she's right or wrong. But when you're a man, couldn't care less.
And married men are highly valuable to other women because it's some kind of social proof.
Yeah, we talked about that a few moments ago where women want what other women want.
Yeah.
So women would rather date a successful married man than a loser that lives in his mom's basement that's single, right? Because of that true selection,
absolutely.
right? Like a handsome, successful man that has women around him or is married demonstrates to other women that, other women have already chosen him. So it saves them the hassle of trying to vet that guy.
100% right. A man that is married is chosen. Also, women see that about themselves as well. A woman that is married is also chosen. I talk a lot about it in my videos. I talk about the woman and the power of progression and what that means for a woman to progress. Having children is a sign of progression. If she can't get married and find that ideal partner, then she'll vie for a child in order to show that, hey, look, I'm now moving forward in life. I'm progressing at a healthy rate. I may not have a partner, but that's okay because it's 2025. We don't necessarily need partners anymore. Now we can just have careers and have a child, and I can support that child myself. And it's the same as just having a family. Even though it's not, she's going to make it seem that way.
Men have to create a level of some competition anxiety in her woman if he wants to have a good, intimate relationship with her.
Exactly. I completely agree with that. Competition anxiety is healthy. A woman wants to know that you're valuable. This is something I talk about a lot. You have to know how to game your woman, game her by knowing how to keep her wanting, know how to keep her desire alive. The only way you can do that is to be a place of authority, fear, but also comfort. You know how to make her feel sweet. You know how to make her feel desired in the right way. Not too pushy, but desired while also being desired by others. I know you're juggling a lot of balls, right? It's a lot of things you're juggling at the same time. But if you have the right mindset, it's effortless. It just comes off naturally. And being able to do it effortlessly makes you that much more appealing as a whole. So work at it. Keep trying. All right? Let's keep going.
Like you have to increase your value. You have to increase your level of attractiveness. That's the key. Starting there, because the go plan is the exact same as the stay plan. If she doesn't like who you make yourself into as you increase your value and she's not responsive to you, you can hit the road running, bud. You know, there's going to be lots of opportunities out there. Like one of the things that a lot of guys find, you know, that I deal with privately in my counseling is like, you know, a lot of these guys, you know, I just can't believe it. You know, we've been married for 25 years. I've tried this, that, and I've leveled up, and I don't know if I'm going to find better.
Here's where the rubber meets the road. You also have to be building your value to keep her interested in what it is that you have going on. So you should always be growing. You should always be progressing because a woman wants to progress. Going back to progression, if she's with you and she feels stagnant in her life, she's going to lose attraction. You want to keep that in mind, that you need to be constantly trying to progress as well. That's why it's important for you to have goals. You don't have to be the richest guy. You don't have to do the absolute most. You don't have to buy a mansion. You don't have to have a Lamborghini. You just need to have the stability. And in that stability, you're able to provide value for the life that you both want. If you want kids, that means that's going to be extra resources. That means you're going to have to compensate for that. If you want to have a girlfriend or a wife, you're going to have to compensate for that. Guess what? Women don't like having to spend money like that. I don't care how feminine and submissive she is. I don't care what she buys you for your birthday. She doesn't like spending money like that when she's around you. Women like to be treated. It is what it is. I don't make the rules. Budget for the life that you want at the very least.
Do you think that most women go into marriage with ill intentions?
I'm going to answer this before he does. Truth is, some women do. Emphasis on the some here. Some women come in with ill intentions. She sees an opportunity. She sees you as a mark. If they see an opportunity to come up off an idiot, they're going to go for it. You know, you may not be the cutest guy. You may not be the most handsome, but you'll get her access into the future or the life that she wants, right? Now, this is more for like the higher end upper echelon of dudes, or at the very least like the entertainers. Now that we have the internet and many public platforms to work with, women have more access to guys that they probably would have never had access to otherwise. So as long as she's above average looking, she'll probably get that access to those guys if she knows how to maneuver correctly or post the right picture at the right time for the right person to come along. And then that person hits her up in the DMs and then boom, there you go. But a lot of the time what's happening is that these women will see an opportunity from an idiot that basically just doesn't know any better and never really took the time to actually learn these skills and these social cues. What happens then? She'll clean him out, take him for everything that he's worth. It's up to him to know better and to know the kind of woman that he's dealing with. If she sees you as a wallet, all she's ever going to do is ask you for things. Woe is me. I need this. I need that. Please give me. And that's all over the world. It doesn't matter where you are. The simp through and through. No matter where you go, a simp will do as a simp does. Now let's get this straight right from the get-go. Stop simping. Get that out of your system. Know how to maneuver like people who like you for you, not for what you have. As long as you can try and as long as you can help it.
My dudes, like if you're on the top shelf or you're close to it or you're doing the work and you're putting the dent in the universe and she's not holding up her end of the bargain, leave. You know, again, she's got first dibs on you. If she doesn't behave right, there's no reason why you should stay in that type of environment if you're unhappy.
I agree. If you're doing the work, if you're making the progression, you're doing what you have to do. And she simply just falls off because she nagged the bag that she wanted. Leave. If you come into it, when you guys get married, listen to me, guys and ladies, have a deal at the table, get everything settled first and foremost. This is what I expect. So, okay, she has her expectations. You have your expectations. You guys know up front what each other's about. That's why you go on dates. That's why you get to know each other. That's why you talk on the phone. You're sitting. It's you at the table talking and figuring out what your values are, what's important to you. And then you say, hey, look, I like sex every day. Then she might go, well, I like sex maybe 2 or 3 times a month. That's not enough for you. Hey, maybe that woman's not for you. Maybe you need to back out. Maybe you got to pull away. And that's fine. Another one's going to come along. Don't just hang on to her just because she's hot. That's your problem. That's what a lot of dudes are doing. You're hanging on to her because she's hot. Admit it. She looks too good and you don't want to pass up the opportunity. So you take it further than yourself probably expected you would. And the next thing you know, you're in a sexless marriage. It was your fault from the beginning because she told you. Or maybe she just lied and then got lazy. It could be that too. But my guess is that a lot of guys probably had these things happen early on and they just ignored it. So now they're in these bad situations and now everyone's crying. If you're that guy, own up to it. Do better in the future.
But in the vast majority of cases, if a woman sees you as her best option, she will be enthusiastic for you for a long time. But there's mistakes that are made along the way. Like one of the arguments that I hear guys make a lot of time, well, what about Tom Brady? Because Giselle cheated on him with the Brazilian jiu-jitsu instructor. Yeah, you're right. Tom Brady was awesome. He was world-class at his craft, made a lot of money, tall, handsome, competent, blah, blah, blah. You go all the way down the list. But he screwed up because he let his wife engage in a rolling art on the floor with another man. Like, you got to be an idiot to let your wife roll around on the floor under the guise of self-protection. Are you stupid?
Yes. The case of Tom Brady. Here's the thing. Women can get exposed to certain things through familiarity, through her circle. Hence why you have to know your woman's circle. You need to know the people around her as they influence what she does and who she is. You have to know the circle. You have to know the people that she is around, okay? If she's talking to you about some guy and she goes, oh, Eric is so fun. Eric, he's so funny. He's so fun. He always helped with my projects at school. He's so, well, fuck Eric. Eric is an asshole and Eric's trying to take your girl, okay? And you tell her, stop talking to Eric or I'm leaving. You set ground rules. It's not controlling, you're simply setting boundaries. And don't let her manipulate you into getting rid of your boundaries simply because you want to keep her around and you want to keep her happy. Boundaries are healthy. Stop letting her hang around Eric. She wants a trainer. Go take her to the gym and you train her yourself. You're not a gym type. You need to be a gym type. You should be going to the gym anyway. Stop being lazy. Stop letting your woman be familiar with other guys. It's not healthy for her. It's not healthy for your relationship. And if you go doing that with another woman, your woman's gonna be like, who's Samantha? No, she's just a girl at work. She's gonna be like, so you and Samantha, you guys are getting married or what? Do you need me to back off? Am I getting in the way? See, she's gonna call you out real quick about Samantha. Women know proximity is the best fire starter. Anyways, let's keep going.
What did you think was going to happen? And in that environment, like we talk about hypergamy, right? Like in that environment, that man, that BJJ instructor who owned that dojo, who was a competent fighter, dominated and was her hypergamous best option as she saw it in that space. What did you think is going to happen if she's rolling around on the ground, becoming, like, rolling around like that is an intimate movement, even though you're not having sex. It's still intimate to some degree between a man and a woman.
Oh, and he had a skill. He had physical ability. He was competent in fighting. Don't let him have a skill. She'll be looking up to him as an authority figure in an area that she wants to excel at, whether it's spiritual, physical, professional. When she looks up to a man in that regard, that's huge trouble. If she's not trying to be avoidant with him and limiting the communication with that person as much as she can, simply getting the information she needs, and she goes on and on about the task that she's trying to accomplish, being so open to him like that, that's a problem. That's a red flag. Pay attention to things like that.
Again, you park your car in a shitty neighborhood overnight, or you send your wife away to a weekend in Cancun or Vegas or something like that. Don't expect good things to happen. Right? Like, you're inviting horror into your life. If you care about her in the relationship, and if she cares about you, she's not going to push back. She's not going to say, oh, well, why are you so insecure? Why can't I train with this guy?
Exactly. Sometimes it's not even about the money. It's likely your wife won't outright leave you. Your wife won't just leave you clean and easy for a guy simply because she found some new exciting dude. She may just use him as a moment in time, some fun, happy thing that makes her feel good in the moment. But after she's done with that, she's probably going to come back home. She makes more money. There's just nothing that guy can actually offer her. But at the moment, he's attractive. He looks good, smells great, super popular amongst his local community. He has other attributes. Not enough to make her leave, but it's enough to get her interested. And that's what you got to address. That's what you got to avoid. You don't want her to necessarily be exposed to all that. So have a conversation with her. She's an adult. Go like, hey, I'm not really comfortable with that. Maybe you can get a female instructor. Well, there's no female instructors in our local area. Well, then maybe that's just not for you. Maybe you can talk to him and see if he has a female instructor. Maybe he has a student that's been there for a while and you can wrestle and tussle with her. Instead of you lying on the floor with him on your back and he has you pinned down to the floor, you're transmitting like energy between each other in those moments. You know what I mean? And that's something that you got to be conscious of, and you got to explain that to her. Again, game your woman, put her on game. Women love when you teach her things and when you can show her the light, more specifically, your light.
Once you set the precedent and she views you as a plugged in beta male, then it's very difficult to reassert yourself and to have her view you as an unplugged alpha.
Is she just like, oh, I know this is not the guy, you're trying to be this guy?
I mean, that's just how she sees
She's not
you.
buying
Like,
it.
you know, she's been married to you for like 10 years or 20 years, and all of a sudden, you try to reassert yourself and lead the relationship if you haven't done it for 10 or 20 years. Because you read a couple books or you did some counseling. Like, even if you do the absolute right things, even if you're successful at it, which you won't be to the degree if you left that relationship, believe it or not, but even if you are successful at it, your reward for all of that work to get it's like getting a better cookie. You know what I mean? Like, you've been getting dried, stale saltine crackers for years, and then all of a sudden, you get handed like an Oreo or something like that. It's like, you get a slightly better cookie, sort of thing. But you don't get the cookie jar with all the variety in it with the different cookies now, right? Now you just get a slightly better cookie, or like a fresher version of the cracker that's not stale. That's all you're getting back, right? So it's like, even the reward for the work kind of pales in a comparison to the work that you're doing. And for most guys, they don't usually have a lot of success in winning her back. I'm not saying it can't happen. It can, but it's rare that it does, because she's already set her mind's eye.
Once she places you in a category of a beta dude, it's next to impossible to get out. It's next to impossible to get from underneath that, because in her mind, she's categorized you as this kind of dude. Now, you can try going to the gym. You can get busy all of a sudden. You can take the time and do the work to try to stir that ship if you really want to save your marriage, right? And just get really busy. Have other women getting interested in you and things like that. Maybe you can spark some magic, but it's going to take a lot of work. And let's say you're a guy who's already successful. You're a decent enough looking guy, but you've let her treat you a certain way for so long. It's going to be hard for you to come back and try to get her to treat you a different way, or to see you in a more respectable light, because you've already opened the doors to allow her to disrespect you. At that point, you have to pretty much be on the verge of leaving. Even then, if you were to try to stay with her after she convinces you to stay with her, it's highly likely she might revert back to those same tactics anyway. I'm not saying for you to necessarily leave your wife, but to get her to crank this relationship to a temperature that's comfortable for the both of you. It's going to be very difficult when you've always allowed the odd to favor her. She likes it hot. You like it cold. You get hot easily when you're sleeping. She likes it at 75. She's more comfortable at 75. You know what? Bring it down to 70. She can throw on a blanket. She can wear a sweater. You know what I mean? You guys should be trying to meet it halfway, because that's the whole point of a partnership. You compromise and do everything to meet in the middle. That's all I'm saying.
And I say that a woman's effort is the truest indicator that will show her love for you. Would you agree with that? Or is there some other indicator that you can really...
You can judge a woman's attraction to you by what she's willing to give you, more specifically with her body. Like, the more generous that she is with her body to you, clearly the more that she likes her.
Absolutely. You got to work on yourself. You got to always improve yourself, not just for her, but for yourself, man. You want to live a long, happy, healthy life. So you got to do the work necessary so you can see that through. You don't want to do all that work and be slaving away for a family. And then right when you get ready to retire, you kick the bucket. You know, you want years long after retirement to just enjoy all the work that you've seen. Retire early if you can, so you can enjoy it even more, right? But you got to do the work now. Remember this. You've got to constantly be making improvements. That way later on, you can thank yourself and be like, shoo, glad I wasn't a shitbag. So what have we learned today? First and foremost, work on yourself. Start with the outside first at the very least. Eat better, hit the gym as much as you can, and get your sleep schedule fixed to a T. Then look inward. Establish the boundaries you have for yourself and stand by them. Don't let infatuation kill your self-respect, because I'll tell you this, the moment you could no longer even respect yourself, the less your partner or any other person around you could. Anyways, check Rich Cooper out. I've seen his channel and he has some good stuff. I'm used to watching him in the car talking to the guys and things like that, but he's got some gems. Check this guy out if you have a chance. Anyways, that's a wrap for today. Current champ reminding you, be the high value man you were always meant to be. Peace.
And I'ma just do me. A new thing hold me down on 2 feet. That's 10 toes, bust 4, 5, and 6 foes. Need 2.